What's up, everybody? My name is Patrick Nochi, and welcome to Engineering Cannabis. I'm your cannabis engineer, your informational weed man. And what are we talking about today? I've been away for a while, and I'm trying to start posting more videos. But just bear with me a little bit. So, what are we talking about today? We're talking about an intersection between AI, trucking, and the cannabis industry. How the automation of trucks will basically aid in the cannabis industry, especially with the transportation system. And with a recent announcement from Tesla, I think 3 weeks ago, with their new highly automated truck, it basically started me looking into how automation will affect the trucking industry, and how that would affect the cannabis industry. So let's go into the topic. AI, also known as artificial intelligence, it's a facet of data science, which utilizes algorithms and basically computer science and algorithms to basically automate systems. And one of the automated systems is going to be trucking, basically becoming more of a driverless, without a human control behind it. This time it's going to be run by a machine that's basically operated through algorithms and through sensors and all that. So it will basically eliminate what the human interaction with the truck itself, and have it more of a computerized system. So that's what AI generally is, basically a mathematical set of mathematical algorithms that basically it's fed data, and then it reacts basically on what's being fed. And data could be from the sensors or anything. So that's what AI is generally. And AI it's not a stagnant entity. It is always evolving and changing based on the situation, with new data being fed and it's always learning, and we're always innovating that aspect. So in terms of how AI is going to affect the trucking industry, we're seeing these changes already happening. The goal of any AI is to basically automate tasks that basically can be more efficient. So driving trucks, installing more safety measures in terms of the trucking, installing efficiency in terms of the trucking, installing ways to basically navigate the trucks can navigate through sensitive areas to learn from it. And also it aids in basically also profit margin from, again, a human being has flaws like every human being. We need rest, we need food, we need all that, and we get sick. With an automated system, we can have a 24-hour system that basically operates on a 24-hour basis. While with the human being, there's always that kind of error. There are also safety measures involved. With AI, there's learning and also safety measures that are being implemented. So again, the automation is here. It's coming. It's already here, and it's learning. Now, how is this area going to affect the cannabis industry? I believe the cannabis industry is right now, especially within the trucking area, is going to be equipped. Is going to be equipped to handle with AI, because right now, for instance, we have issues with track and trace. When it becomes federally legal, and we are trying to basically ship loads from one area to the other, an automated system will not only take the load, will also not only take that load of cannabis, will also account for it, and also load it into the truck, and also as it proceeds, it's also tracking every vitals on that truck. So it's going to be tracking the environmental vitals in the truck, from cooling to basically any aspect of the cannabis itself. If you're transferring an extract, a THC extract, and it tracks what that extract, it tracks the extract itself, degradation rate. It might also track how it is itself, if it's leaking, or if something. It's basically going to track the well-being of that package itself, and it's going to be giving a real-time feedback of what's going on that truck, transferring data on everything surrounding the cannabis itself, and feeding it directly into the individuals who need that information. And as it proceeds, basically gives you more of a logistics overview of how that cannabis is being transported. Also, safety. It gives you safety measures too. Now you can track it from one place to the other, and also gives safety measures in terms of how to secure it properly, where it's going, all that. All those measures are basically being employed into the AI systems with the cannabis industry. And also quality control. Biggest problem is quality control. You need good quality control of the cannabis itself in the truck. So it's going to aid in that trucking system. And it's going to also aid in producing where we can basically expedite more cannabis being transferred from one state to the other. For instance, we had a problem with Canada when Canada legalized federal legalization, and they had a shortage of it. And this could be from transportation to production. But with an automated system, that eliminates that portion when it comes to logistics. Because at that point, you can take your cannabis and transfer it from one side to the other, and securely and safely. And also it's reliable because now the human factor is eliminated. So now the trust can be built into it, where you say this cannabis was given at this point, at this source, and is being transferred at this source, knowing it will get there, knowing the tracking mechanisms are on there, knowing if anything happens, the more data is being sent to the source saying this is what's happening, and monitoring the wellness of your cannabis plant, or the integrity of your cannabis extract itself. So in terms of trucking, automation, cannabis will go hand in hand. You will see, especially within the trucking industry, you will see a huge push for automation in the cannabis, especially within the trucking sector. Another sector, automation too. But within the trucking sector, cannabis, especially within the cannabis, is going to be huge, especially, for instance, if right now, since states are now legalizing either medical or recreational, now you can see delivery just within states. Now automating the carriers itself, the small trucks that go from house to house or delivery to delivery, automating that system itself not only gives small entrepreneurs or small business owners more profit margin, and more profit margin in order to deal with the products, or even deal with more expenses. It gives other owners. It also creates more avenues in developing new tech for the cannabis and the trucking industry. So especially within states where it's now just only states, you can't go across state lines. Automation is going to help, because at that point you have so trust that your cannabis product is going to be delivered to the right place and efficiently and on time. And you can assure that when it's being delivered, it's being tracked, and it's being tracked real time, and the data is being sent. So that's what automation is. It's going to be a full course, or full imagery on how it's going to basically track how cannabis is going to be delivered. It's going to deal with delivery. It's going to deal with the product. It's going to deal with every part of it. It's not just going to be the driving part. It's also going to be the part where it takes care of the environmental factor. You transport cannabis. It has to be stored. And it can be stored in a highly heated area. Environmental control is going to be control, temperature control. That's going to be involved also contamination, tracking what kind of you reduce contamination from your product with less human interaction. You can reduce, again, interaction for biological contaminants going into the plant or contaminants going to the extract. So you're reducing that too. So there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of positives with automation. Automation is not just the truck and driving itself, but also dealing with the cannabis product itself. Again, track and trace, it's part of the cannabis industry. Dealing with the environmental controls, dealing with every aspect of the cannabis. Automating that system in terms of where there's no human interaction reduces there's a lot of positive. So again, what can I say, what can I conclude from what automation is going to do with the cannabis? It's going to basically make it more efficient. And these are the points where I'm making. It's going to provide more resources for the business owners, the small business owners, reduce expenses. It's going to help with the environmental controls of the cannabis, help with the security of the cannabis, and finally help with contamination, reduce contamination of the cannabis itself. So it's just a good technology to employ within the cannabis space. And again, it might eliminate jobs, but it would also create jobs. Again, automation, cannabis industry, and trucking, they go hand in hand. And it's here. So all we need to do is either embrace it and learn from it and move and evolve and see how it affects the industry and see all these positives comes into. So again, my name is Patrick Anochi. I'm a cannabis engineer, your informational weed man, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.